Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to another week of art. This week in art we are going to be creating a print, which is something that it's like a stamp that we stamp onto another piece of paper, and it can be repeated multiple times. For our print we're going to create a whale tail, and you will also need a sponge, some aluminum foil, a Tupperware container or some kind of container for some water, a pencil, a Sharpie, some washable markers. It's important that they are washable and they're not permanent. You'll need a permanent marker for your design, but you'll need a washable marker for the printmaking part, and a pencil and an eraser. So once you have all those materials as well as a piece of paper to draw everything onto and transfer your print over to, then you can get started. So we're going to go ahead and start drawing our whale tail, and we want to draw it nice and big on our paper. So I'm going to start with the shape of the whale tail, and it starts out with a curve that comes around, and this is in the center of my paper, a little bit above the center of my paper, and it curves around like an arch, kind of going diagonally, and then it comes back around to create this kind of S shape that's going diagonally towards the corner of your paper. Then you're going to draw a big curve line that comes down, and then you're going to do the same thing and repeat the same thing on the other side. So a curve that swooshes around like an S and then curves around towards the center. If it's not exactly the same on both sides, that's okay, or if you make a mistake, that's why we use pencil, we can erase. So then we're going to draw straight line kind of diagonally to the bottom, towards the bottom of our paper, and on the other side it's going to kind of curve around and come back over, because this is going to be the whale's body, and we might even want to trace that over so that this is the underside of the whale and this is the top part of the whale. Now that we have our whale's tail, we can add some details if we want, and kind of trace over again to kind of outline our whale's tail and give it kind of some form, some dimension, make it look more three-dimensional. However you want to decorate your whale's tail, that's up to you. You can add little spots, little stripes, little lines, however you want to do that. Next, we're going to create the waves that are around our whale's tail. So the water around a whale would be kind of mixed and kind of swooshing around, not still. So we would see kind of a lot of these kind of waves. So we want to create some spirals for the waves coming out of the water, out of the ocean, and all around our whale tail are these waves, and they can go different directions. Maybe there's even some water, like some raindrops, coming out from both sides. Splish in, a splash in. All right, maybe some wavy lines kind of coming up. However you want to decorate your ocean and the water, but it has to have a lot of waves, maybe even some more in the back. And one going in front of our whale's body. Maybe some little waves kind of around the whale's tail, and we want to make sure that that line extends all the way down. And we just want to think about where we're placing these waves and how we want them to go. We can have them change directions. We can have some big waves towards the bottom. Think about where you're placing them and how you want them to look. Big waves. Maybe this is in the front, so it's bigger. This one's medium sized. It's getting kind of smaller towards it gets closer to the whale. Some more wave lines. Kind of go up to a peak. And the farther it gets away from the whale, the less waves there's going to be. Maybe we have another one right here. So thinking about the placement of your waves, where you want to put them on your paper. Maybe we'll combine this with these waves here. So once we have our waves and we have our whale tail, then we're going to think about, do we want this to be a day picture with the sun setting around it, or do we want it to be a nighttime picture with the galaxy and some stars, because this is out in the middle of the ocean, so there's a lot of stars, there's a lot of colors. Think of like the northern lights around it. So it's up to you how you want to design it, but thinking about the colors that you are going to use for the top and for the bottom. Once you have outlined everything in pencil, you're going to take your Sharpie and you're going to outline your designs. All right, now that we've outlined everything that we want and we erased it all, then we're going to work on our printmaking part. Now, I left the top of my sky blank, but you can add different details if you want to. I will leave that up to you. You are the artist and you can create other ideas in the sky however you want it to look. If you want to do daytime sky or a nighttime sky, it's up to you. But make sure you're thinking about where your whale is. So probably in the middle of the ocean where there's not a lot of cities. So there's going to be a lot of stars in the sky and lots of different colors. You'll be able to see a lot of things at night. So think about those things if you're doing a nighttime sky. If you're doing a daytime sky, think about whether you want it to be a sunset or a sunrise with lots of different colors. All right, now that my paper is completely colored in, I made sure to color each section the way I wanted it. You can add different designs and different details inside your paper if you want to. That way it'll come out on the different pieces of paper in different places. But I'm going to show you how we're going to wet our sponge and place the wet water on our paper, and that way we can transfer the Crayola marker onto our paper and it'll transfer those colors over. So we're going to take our water, dip our sponge in, and wring out all the extra water. We only want our paper to be damp. We don't want it to be soaking wet. So then we're going to take that sponge and wet it all the way from top to bottom. And that's why it's important to use a permanent marker so that we don't smear our design where we don't want it to go. The Sharpie or the permanent marker is very important for that step. And now that we have our paper wet, but not soaking wet, it's not dripping wet, now we're going to take our paper, our aluminum foil, and place it down, and then take our our artwork and lay it flat on top. And then we're just going to make sure that we get all the way to the corners of the paper and just rub and press all the areas of our paper to get all those colors transferred over and printed onto our design. Don't forget the edges, the sides, and the corners of your paper. And you can even flip it over and press the other way using the aluminum. Flip it back. Press, 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 rub, rub, rub. Get all that color, those marker colors, to transfer over. So now we're going to take a corner and pull it apart. And as you can see, our design and the colors have transferred over onto our design. Here's another example of how you can decorate your aluminum using different patterns and colors. You can also reuse the same aluminum to create different patterns and different designs. I hope you enjoy and have fun creating your prints. We used water, a sponge, aluminum foil, paper, and some washable markers and a permanent marker to create our design. I cannot wait to see how these turn out, and thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this project. We'll see you next time.